Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have been reading a lot of books. I haven't necessarily been posting a lot of YouTube videos, but I have been reading a lot. And since I have not really done any wrap-ups, I really wanted a chance to connect with you guys and tell you what I've really been loving this year and just spread the bookish joy. I'm going to do a video where I go over my favorite books that I've read this year. Books that I were like, I don't really feel like spending time on. And I don't want to be negative. I just really want to talk about the books that really stood out to me and just gush about my favorite books that I've read so far this year. And I'm thinking, like, I always have a hard time narrowing it down to my top 10 at the end of the year, so maybe on my channel from now on at the halfway point of the year I'll be like, these are my favorite books I read so far, and then I'll do another one at the end, and then we can do it that way instead of doing a top 10 at the end, because there's usually more than 10 that I enjoy. Let's start out with some honorable mentions. These are books that I enjoy but weren't like absolute top tier favorites. First we have Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. I have the deluxe edition that is coming out in January pre-ordered, so I don't have a physical copy. It kept me turning the pages. I don't know how I feel about the ending plot twist and if it makes sense or not with the narrative structure. I'm like kind of like but I enjoyed it, right? And I'm interested to see where the story's gonna go, but it's definitely more like 4-star territory for me. Same thing with Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, which is like one of the prettiest books. I enjoyed this one, following Odessa, who is kind of like the princess. It's almost like a little Cinderella-y, where she's like the ignored princess, and then she goes on an adventure with this guy, the Guardian. And I enjoyed the like monster aspect of the story. The pacing maybe was a little bit slow in the middle. It was solid 4-star, okay? Solid 4-star. Again, I'm being more honest about my star ratings with myself this year. In the past I've been like, oh, it was great, I loved it, 5-star, but like I'd really be like, no, it's like really more of a 4-star. Just because I wanted to love it didn't mean that I do, but I enjoyed it. Solid. And I definitely will be continuing on with the series to see what happens, especially if the second book is as pretty as the first book. Looking at like all my books, I like really haven't read that much contemporary romance this year, which is interesting. Wildside by Elsie Silver, I would say, is like pretty solid. It's not my like favorite all-time Elsie Silver book, but I eat up anything that woman writes. So putting that on this list as an honorable mention. I think my last honorable mention, solid like 4-star, maybe like 4.25 star, is The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. I picked this one up on a whim because everybody was talking about it, and we're following Raya, who is a halfling, so she's on the run, and then she basically gets captured by this commander, and kind of like everything that she knew about the world gets thrown on its head. And it says that she basically is a remnant, which is one of the 4 souls that has elemental magic. And I think her and the other like elements are going to form some kind of relationship dynamic. What that is going to be, I don't know, but I definitely thoroughly enjoyed this one. I maybe put it like a 4.25 star. I like really enjoyed the elemental magic system, Raya's journey, and like the interesting other character developments that are going on. We're definitely gonna have, you know, like a lot of other characters, and I don't think we've met the Earth Remnant yet, so that is definitely coming up. So again, one I thoroughly enjoyed. Definitely want to continue on with the series. Solid like 4 I don't know, because I also have some 4.5s on my like favorites list. I don't know, 4.25. Goodreads, can we please just get a different rating scale so I can figure out my feelings better on these books. Okay, so the first book that I want to shout out is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I would say this is a strong 4.5 stars. I'm going to talk about books that were like I don't know honestly how exactly this is going to go, but anything that was like a 4.5 and above, or maybe 4.5 and above, that I just like really want to discuss. It's interesting. I used to rate like everything that I like somewhat enjoyed a 5-star, and now I find I'm a little bit more like selective. I mean, not really, like it's still me. I still love to give books high ratings, / I'm usually picking up books that I know I'll enjoy. But if I finish a book and I was like, okay, yeah, that was good, but it didn't give me that like butterfly feeling, I'll be like, no, like that's a 4-star, and then really saving those 5 stars for like the books that make me giddy. So I think I've like kind of been a little bit more honest with myself about my ratings, instead of like making myself feel like I have to love every single book. So that's been nice. So that's also a change, but like there's still a lot of highly rated books. Okay, so the first one is a spell shop. I would say this is, so yeah, maybe like a 4.5 for me, just because it was so cozy and cute. I picked it up in January and it was just like cold out and I just really wanted something cute. We're following Kyla, and she is like this very introverted librarian, and her library comes under siege, and so she sails away to this island that she grew up on with a sentient spider plant, and their magic is not allowed, and so she creates this jam shop to sell secret spells to the populace in need. Honestly, this book just was so cozy and really felt like playing Fae Farm, but like in a book form, and I really want to pick up the audiobook for The Enchanted Greenhouse and like exclusively just play Fae Farm and Animal Crossing while I listen to that, because I feel like the vibes for that are going to be absolutely immaculate. And I will say, like, cozy fantasy, I really thought I was gonna like more of the genre, but I do find like the ones that I really like, but there are definitely some that like don't hit the mark, but this series really hit the mark for me. I just find it like the coziest, cutest, like most sweet little romance book. The next book that hit the mark for me is Iron and Embers by Helen Shore. I mean, I think I have talked about her so much on my channel in the past like year and a half. I think I found her at the end of 2023. I am absolutely obsessed with her entire Blood and Steel series, which I have behind me right here. And then look at this. This is so cool. I got from a PR box a special ARC edition of Iron and Embers, and I love it so much. This is literally one of my like top bookish possessions. Iron and Embers is the spin-off series of the Legends of Thesmar. This is called The Ashes of Thesmar. I would say you have to read that series first. Like, there's really no getting around it. Like, this has just way too much context that you would be missing about these characters if you don't read that series first. However, it like shifts the focus from one female main character to another. So now we're following Thea's sister, Ren. And Ren is an alchemist. So the whole thing in the Legends of Thesmar series is that Thea is a warrior. She wants to be a warrior in a world where women are not warriors, and that's just done so well. And I love the way like Thea's training is like described. Like, she doesn't just like wake up one day and is like this complete badass. Like, you really see her struggle and like actually come into these really cool powers, which I appreciated. And what I appreciate about this one is that we have a character that has different strengths. So Ren is just like really obviously like smart and cunning, because I would say alchemists are like the scientists of the book world, and we see her like being sneaky and like pulling off like plots, whereas like Thea was more brute force. So it's really cool to see that an author can write different female main characters that can like still accomplish their goals like through different means. So this one, instead of being about like kind of like fighting and force, is more about like outsmarting your opponent, which I love. I love a smart female main character. Okay, so we're following Ren, and she basically gets to go to this like really ancient alchemy school to actually like hone her skills and like ascend to the level of master alchemist. Whereas before, she was training at the fort of Thesmar, and like you aren't able to become a master alchemist there, but she's been training for many years. And this takes place 5 years after the end of the first series, and basically like because of what had happened at the end of that book, she's just been like on her own for 5 years, like doesn't really, you know, want to see anyone that she knows. We have Torge, who is a war sword, and like they definitely had so much crackling chemistry in the first series, and now in order to kind of get what he wants, he's been assigned to be Ren's bodyguard as she goes to this alchemy school. I don't even want to like say it in like tropes, because I feel like that simplifies it so much, but there's just like this like tension because they need each other. I guess reluctant allies, like they're reluctant allies, but they definitely have like beef. They have history there. Oh my god, it's so good. And then like I just love her books so pretty much. Okay, the ending of this like actually destroyed my soul, because what do you mean that's how it's gonna end? If there's anything that Helen Shore does, is it rips your heart out at the end and has you wondering how is the couple going to recover from this in the next book, and it keeps the tension between the characters alive over multiple books. Whereas sometimes if you have a couple that is together for a long time, like it can feel stale, but this one, she just like knows how to keep you hooked, keep you going and wanting more of this couple. Like, how are they going to solve their issues? So obviously I've waxed poetic enough about this book. It was 5 stars for me, and I'm about to start the second book, which I'm so excited about, and hopefully you will see that in a vlog soon. Okay, so I have read a bunch of Zoe Draven this year. Zoe Draven is probably one of my most read authors at this point. I'm obsessed with her. She does alien romance, but like some of the best alien romance ever, and it feels very similar to fantasy romance. So I'm just gonna list all of the books I read from her this year and talk through some of them. So we have The Midnight Arrow, which is a novella in her Brides of Kylor series. I read her whole, I don't even know what the series is called. It's got The Alien's Touch, The Alien's Dream, The Alien's Obsession, The Alien's Seduction, The Alien's Claim. Oh, it's the Luxurian series. Rescued by the Luxurian, which is also in that series. I had a lot of traveling to do for work in the beginning of the year, and like something about reading an alien romance on the plane, like it just keeps you so like hooked, and it really like passes the time. So I was picking up all of her books while I was traveling, and I also find it really hard to sleep when I'm like away for work and like on my own. So like these books were keeping me company like while I was just like really having a hard time falling asleep. So I feel very emotional about them because of that. And then the other one that I read is Hunger in His Blood, which is her third book in the Brides of Kylor series. I will say her Luxurian series is her first series, so you could definitely tell that she's matured as a writer since then, but they're still so addictive and fun, even though they follow like the very basic kind of like Ice Planet Barbarians-esque formula of alien romance, and her, I think, later books kind of like diverge from that a bit. They just still kept me so addicted. I don't know what it is about it, but the way that these men like yearn for these women, I just eat it up every single time. Hunger in His Blood was the Brides of Kylor series is definitely my favorite series of her, and it's a world where like humans have already like traveled the galaxy and have like established themselves in like other planets, and they're like already intermingling with other alien species, which I kind of like because then it takes like the, you know, like weird colonization sometimes that some of the books in the genre kind of can toe into, which you kind of got to be careful of. So the Kylor are like these vampire alien gargoyles, okay? And then we have Irina, who has been working in Kaldur's palace, and she's just like obsessed with him, okay? She's like, I love this like guy. She's like just pining after him, and he like doesn't even know that she exists because she's just like a maid in his house, and he's definitely very rough around the edges. And it is a, and this is in the like marketing copy, so I'm not ruining anything for you, but it is a rejected mate's accidental pregnancy romance. And when I tell you the yearning in this one, it took me out. It took me out, okay? Like the yearning, the groveling, the angst. If you are a reader that likes tension and angst and yearning, like please read this book. I was gagged, okay? I was strapped to my seat. Actually, literally I was, because I was on an airplane. I was strapped to my seat. I was like, what is going on? Like, oh my God. Oh my God, okay? You are on a journey on this one, and it's so good. I like it. Top tier yearning recommendation. I wanted to touch upon is A Promise of Lies by Claire Sager, which is the third book in the Kiss of Iron series. I love this series, okay? Mainly because it is so easy for me to self-insert myself in there, because the main character is a girl named Catherine. If you don't know, my full name is Catherine. She is a redhead, short, curvy girly, and I'm like, that's me. That's me. And then we have Bastian, who's like a shadow daddy bad guy. Okay, so Catherine is in this loveless marriage, and her husband's just like gone. Like we don't know where he is, okay? And she gets recruited basically to come to this Regency era palace. Like it's set in a Regency world, but there is a Fae contingency, so it's basically like a Regency-esque world with humans, but there's also like a Fae realm. And she's tasked with spying on Bastian. And Bastian is like the general right hand of the Fae Queen. And so it's like espionage, but like the way Bastian is just so obsessed with like Kat and like all other character arcs. And this third book really was like insane. I think it was a very good closer to the trilogy. Like the stakes build and build throughout every book, and like their love is just so amazing. I love them. I love the series. I have the first book in here, but it's at the bottom of the pile, so I'm not gonna grab it. I need to pick up the other books to complete my collection. But like, yeah, Kat and Bastian, like obsessed, and it's very spicy. He has the power to duplicate himself, so make of that what you will. I think like sometimes I'm like, am I getting burnt out on shadow daddies? But then I read one and I'm like, I'm obsessed with this man. So I think it's just like, if the author is and the story is good enough, even if it's a tried and true trope, I am sad. I am in it, and I was in it for this one, okay? And I just love where the story went, and like, it's just really about like Kat and Bastian like being in this world that's really harsh and like reclaiming everything for themselves, and despite like the shitty hand that they've been dealt. Like, it's just so good, and when it just has like a very impactful like emotional message, it's amazing. You guys know I love Ali Hazelwood, so I read her new book Deep End pretty much like right when I got it. Ali Hazelwood just knows how to write a romance, okay? She knows how to write a romance to like the just the best, okay? And we are following Scarlett and Lucas, who are like, he's on the swim team and she is on the diving team. And this book is for like the perfectionists who kind of just need to like let go, okay? And I just thought that their romance was beautiful. It really starts as like a lust forward romance, which I haven't really read before that like works for me, but it's like fast burn spice, but like slow burn emotional. And I think like that's realistic, right? Because how many people do you know that hook up first in real life and then start developing feelings, you know? So like, I think it's interesting that they kind of like come together through their like spicy scenes rather than making that emotional connection and then going into spice. And the spice was spicing, okay? So I just really like that Ali Hazelwood is starting to like kind of diversify the stories that she writes. There's still a touch of STEM in here, but I really actually liked the sports romance aspect of the swimming and diving too, and it made me just want to watch like diving at the Olympics. So another Ali Hazelwood win. She's the queen. Okay. These two books took me by surprise, and that is Bound to the Battle God and Sworn to the Shadow God by Ruby Dixon. Ruby Dixon also has a fantasy romance series, and this is basically about women from our world that get thrown into a portal and go into this world where there are gods, and there's like this big event that has kind of happened and the gods have come down from the heavens, and I don't want to say more than that because kind of like figuring out what is going on while you are there is like so interesting, and it's something very, very different that I've never like read before. But what I liked about this series is that the women are just like behaving like you would expect somebody to behave if they were literally portaled into another world. So it's like funny because they act like a modern human woman would act, and is like literally like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you saying? Like, what is this fantasy world? And trying to just like figure out how to like live in a fantasy world is so entertaining and fun. And Ruby Dixon really does have like the wit and the humor to pull it off, but also like the romance between all these characters is amazing, and like I just loved it. I loved it. So I highly recommend picking up these two books. I haven't picked up the third one or if there's more in the series yet, but like I just love these first two in the series so much. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I would say this is about a 4.5 series for me. We're following Elspeth. She has a monster that lives in her head, and then she basically has to join Raven, who is a mysterious highwayman she meets on the road, in a quest to rid the world blunder of the dark magic that is plaguing it. I would say this is definitely more of like a fantasy forward fantasy romance, or like fantasy with a very strong romantic subplot. Whatever. However you want to nuance it. Definitely a little bit more fantasy focused than some of the other books. But very interesting and cool world building. There's like a tarot card based magic system that was very unique. I like the whole aspect of like the monster in Elspeth's head, and the writing is just beautiful. Like Rachel Gillig really has very, very good writing, and I'm like, oh, this writing is beautiful. I love reading it. Like I obviously have so much tabs. I loved this. It kept me at the edge of my seat, and like it delivered on a gothic fantasy romance. And then we also have the sequel, which I feel like is kind of divisive. Like people either love or hate the sequel, because we do get another couple while also following the first couple, and I loved it, okay? I liked both couples. The writing, again, was beautiful. Like, the magic system was cool. The stakes were upped a little bit, and I don't know, something about, like, a good duology with, like, two books gives you enough room to really, like, up the stakes and build the story without it dragging out. So I do like a good, well-paced duology, and I thought that this one was very well thought out and is a new favorite. I don't even know if I have the words for this, okay? I've been reading The Hunger Games since I was 14 years old, and never did I think that this day would come that we would get another book that is in the Hunger Games world. Yes, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes also came out, but like 14-year-old me would have been shocked to know, you know, both of these entries into the Hunger Games world. And I have to say, this book is just like so gut-wrenching. It's definitely one of the most like impactful reads, and I think it really speaks to a lot of the problems that are going on like right now in the world, in terms of like propaganda, and I don't know, like it just hit me so hard. It was like a gut punch, and I don't know if it's because I'm older while I'm reading this. Like obviously I read the original books 15 years ago. I was a child myself. Like I was at the age that you would be if you were like a participant in the Hunger Games, whereas now I'm an adult, and I just see like the impact on these like kids, and it just like, I don't know, something about like just like the intensity, and like it just made me almost like sick to my stomach thinking through the implications of this work. And maybe it's just because I'm older and I can kind of like understand the scope a little bit more, but like I don't know. And I think too with the other Hunger Games books, like they have a thread of hope throughout them, right? Because like the whole point is like to overthrow this, you know, government that's like really bad, and like the characters are like fighting for it. And in this you see the beginnings of how the rebellion starts, but like it's not a hopeful book. It kind of ruins your life, and like you know it's gonna ruin your life going into it because you know what happens in the Hunger Games. Like it's so upsetting but like so impactful, and like it was like, I don't know, just one of the hardest reads that I've had this year, but like obviously just like so important and so worth it. But like, oh my god, it hurt. But you know what, my inner child is very just happy that we're getting more in the Hunger Games world. Suzanne Collins has something to say, and she should say it with her full chest. Next we have City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This again I would say is like about a 4.5 series for me. These books are a chunky, okay? This is for the girlies that just want a man to take care of you. I think like a lot of times like fantasy romance has all these like badass female main characters, and I love reading about a badass female main character, but it's interesting to see like a character that is soft and still has a different kind of like strength in that. So we're following Loren. She's a human in a world with all these like other paranormal beings, and she kind of just like really struggles to survive in this world where like she's at the bottom of the food chain. And again, she doesn't really have any powers. Like there's nothing really super like remarkable about her, but she has a bounty out on her. So in this world there are these people called Dark Slayers that are basically magical bounty hunters with specific powers. And the Dark Slayer is hunting her down. Darien Castle, the leader of one of the Dark Slayer clans, the Seven Devils, sees that she's being hunted down, and he's like, this is not one of my like normal targets, which are like bad people. He's like, this is just a nice sweet human woman, like what is going on, and decides to help her. So this is like an urban fantasy world with demons and all sorts of creatures and a soft female main character, and I just really enjoyed it. I read the first 2 books. I haven't continued on with book 3 and 4, but I'm very excited to do so because I am into this series, okay? And Darien Castle, I love Darien and Loren together. They're amazing. I almost forgot Onyx Storm. I have the Target edition here, which like, if you know, this one was so hard to hunt down, and then I was on my work trip, okay, in the middle of nowhere, and they had the Target edition like right after they had sold out everywhere. So of course I had to get it. I'm going to hold up the regular deluxe edition though, because it doesn't have stickers on it. Also the, what is it, the Flame and Claw editions are coming out that have like the matching like draggy dragons on with like an ombre on both books 1 and 2. So my Fourth Wing collection keeps growing. This third book in the Fourth Wing series, which you don't know, is about a dragon riding college. It is probably arguably the like hottest thing in romantasy right now, right behind Sarah J. Maas, who has a grip on the genre, okay? And I just thought that this third novel just was very excellent. It expanded the world a lot. I loved the interactions between like all of like the side characters and like the journey that we go on and what is happening between Xaden and Violet and the ending. Oh my god. I have so many theories. I love when a book makes me think through like, okay, what is going to happen? It's going to be a 5-book series. I don't know what is going to happen next, but like obviously this is kind of like the turning point of the series, right? And I feel like things have turned around. We learn more about like the dragons and like, I just love it, okay? I unabashedly love it. And I am just so excited to like be into a series as they're releasing and like get the books as they're releasing. Like it's just so exciting to me to love what all the other girlies are loving. Okay, so we have 2 more entries. for my favorite books from the first half of the year. Next we have Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Only the first book because I read the second book in July, so you might see that in the next series of this video. I was interested in this one because, like, I've seen people say that they don't like the main character, and I loved her even though she was flawed. I think maybe I related to her flaws. Following DM, who lives in a world where the descended of the kindred, they're basically like godlike with their powers, like live in this like, you know, special, really nice city, and then kind of like the humans are on like the slums and the outskirts, and DM's mother is a palace healer, and DM is training to be a healer as well, but her mother wants her to like have nothing to do with the descended, and she's kept very far away from them, and then her mother goes missing. So it's very interesting because I feel like in a lot of fantasy romance books, like, the mother is not like usually an active participant in the plot, and I appreciated like that the mother is like a character with her own like agency within the world. I mean, obviously you don't see her in this book, but like in the beginning, like she's obviously very present. Like DM grew up in like a very stable home, and you kind of like are uncovering the secrets that she like left. But yeah, instead of just like the dead parent, it's the like, oh my god, what has my mom been up to? And it's interesting to see like a mother-daughter dynamic where the mother is like a fully fleshed out character, which like I appreciated, and I hope we learn more about her as the series goes on, because obviously this is just scratching the surface. I've read the first 2 books at this point. So I got these pretty paperback editions with these beautiful sprayed edges, and the third book is not out in paperback yet, so I'm like, do I collect the hardcover? Do I wait for the third book to come out in pretty sprayed back Edge edition? I mean, it's on Kindle Unlimited, but like I just love the series so much I want to read the physical books. So yeah, so I just think like DM is really like, does not have all of the information, is really trying to do her best, and like, I don't know, I just feel like she feels very like a raw and realistic character to me, which like I appreciate. Like, she doesn't always get it right, she makes mistakes, but she's trying her best, okay? And the second book in the series, absolutely love. Our main character, Luther, okay, this is the slowest of slow burns, but I love him, okay? I love them together, and like the way that like we're just like slowly finding out more about what's happening in the series, and like the plot just like deepens and gets more complex, especially after this first book. Like, I love the second book even more, but I love this one for setting up the world, and I don't know, I just thought so interesting, okay? I love the series. And then my last book I have to talk about, which is coincidentally I think sitting at my top book of the year right now, is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. Okay, this Barnes & Noble edition is heavy. Can I get this sticker off right now? Am I gonna regret my life choices? Okay, I saw somebody on TikTok selling like a sticker scraper, and I might need one of those in my life, because why is this like the bane of my existence? No. Okay, just one thing that I don't understand about this cover is like, this is not at all how Sybil's hair is described, but you know what, we're just gonna pretend like it is. Or maybe this is supposed to represent the moth. Like, look at how pretty this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition is. It's like so heavy too, because like the paper, like it's so white and just like heavy. I don't know, it's really nice. This is what the cover looks like. Okay, this, like, I loved One Dark Window, but like I think I loved like everything about this more. Like, just think of like a like dark, wet, more like gothic, like fog, and have these what are they called, diviners who have to like wear like a blindfold essentially to help them divine, and they drown to get prophecies, which is like kind of traumatic. They portend the omens. A mysterious knight arrives at this like gothic cathedral and really starts to turn everything that Sybil has like thought about her life on her head, and she just really starts to question like what is actually going on here, and figuring out the deeper workings of the world. And they go on a quest, and Roderick is just like this like smarmy, like sarcastic knight, and like the aesthetic, like Rachel Gillick just has like a vision, and she like really brings that like aesthetic to life. Like, Rory is like this dark-haired knight with like smudged eyeliner, and like it's just so like grungy and gothic, and like the descriptions in this are beautiful. Again, tension and yearning, top notch. This book just took you on a journey, and I was there for this. And then my favorite side character is the gargoyle. He is like the funniest character, it just always has these like little quips that like you're reading this like dark atmospheric book and then there's just like this gargoyle like making jokes over here, and it just works really, really well, and it brings like a little sense of like levity, and like I just loved him. And then you find out his story and like I wanted to cry, okay? Like it's just so good, okay? It's so good. Like this, like ever since I finished this book, like I've been thinking about it, and that's how I know it's a favorite of mine, okay? Because I cannot stop thinking about them. I want to know what's going to happen next. Like the writing was just so beautiful and evocative. Like it really just took you on like a journey and transported you to the setting. I've kind of like come to realize that like just having good writing is not the be all end all of like I'm gonna love your book. Like the story and the characters also have to be there, because I read books that have like objectively like very nice prose, and like if the story isn't all the way there, then like it just doesn't do it for me, you know? And I, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I don't want to say like bad writing, right? Because like clearly there is such a thing as bad writing. Like it exists, right? Like your sentence structure doesn't make sense, it's not pleasant to read, your grammar is bad or whatever. But there is like a more simplistic, straightforward writing style that is good in terms of like, you know, following the rules of grammar, but like it's just simple and straightforward and not very like embellished, like purpley prose. And if the storytelling is good in something that has a simplistic and straightforward writing style, I'm still hooked. So, you know, I can do either end of the spectrum. It's really, I think the storytelling is that at the heart of the story that makes a difference for me. Okay, so those were my favorites for the first half of the year. I just get so excited talking about all the books that I've loved and sharing my love of these books. Hopefully you got some recommendations from this video, and let me know down below what your favorite book that you've read so far this year is, and leave me a little sparkle emoji, because we're just spreading the sparkly love of reading on this channel. Also, leave down below if there are any videos that you would like to see from me. I'm coming back into my booktube era, and I just really am excited to make content again. So if there's anything that you've been dying to see from me, let me know. I should have some vlogs that I am in the process of filming, and I hope to start posting those again soon. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be back. I've really missed here, and I think my time away has made me reflect that I love doing this. And that is all from me for today. So have some fun, read some books, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.